Hello everybody, Blue Dooley, starting off with an apology as I'm trying to film loading 63-foot long trusses on the truck, and obviously I'm paying way more attention to loading the trailer than I am my filming.
You're good one.
So that's kind of why the filming's not that great. In future videos I think I'll have to probably clip the camera to my hat so I can do everything hands-free. But we are taking these up to Pocatello, Idaho. Just helping Lauren and David get them loaded on the trailer. As you got to get them on there just right so they're not over width or wider than they actually are. So the trusses were actually 12 foot 10, and after we got them set on the trailer a little crooked and pushed and nudged, they actually ended up only being about 12 foot.
David, hold tight.
That takes a little practice. A little coordination. The forklift I'm standing to is a 10-ton unit. The one on the other side is 5 tons, and 63-footers are hard to pick up, even if they were just by themselves. You add the rest of the trusses on top of them, and it was a pretty good sized load. We're going to pull out of the yard here. It was actually stacked 66 high, and the total truss count for this job is 135 trusses. The second part, one of the other guys is taking up Wednesday. So you can watch me drive down the road a little bit, and then we'll catch back up at the cold water rest area. Checking in from cold water rest area. I always pull in here to double check my straps, because if they're going to come loose, they've come loose by now. And if they haven't, they're going to stay tight the rest of the way. So let's get on with it again. And we're jumping back into the next base dash cam for this clip of the video. Obviously sped up. We're at 3 times speed playing, and I took a couple of chunks out so you can't follow the job up to where it went, because I'm not sure if people want me showing that or not in the videos. The pilot car is actually behind me at the moment because this corner coming up is pretty tight, and the curb that used to be there is gone. So I really needed to swing wide, and I needed the pilot car to stay in the right lane when I creep over here into the left lane so I can make this turn. And there should be a curb there, but I guess the snowplow took it out or something. Really needed to swing that one wide just so the load wouldn't hit that stoplight. Absolutely gorgeous day, I must say. So we get going up here a little ways, and then the pilot car is going to jump around me so he can actually lead, which is where I need him after making that turn. But with the traffic and the double yellow line and not much shoulder, he just kind of had to stay back there until the road widened up, and it does here. So I'm going to slow down a lot, kind of hang over to the side of the road. There he is. He's a good guy. We use them quite a bit, and he also knows the Pocatello area pretty good. So once I told him what road we were turning off of to get to the road that doesn't show up on GPS, he's like, oh yeah, I remember where that's at. So jump up here, and this is kind of the other spot I really needed him, as those peaks just about touching the side of the mountain right there, going up in spots. Again, we're at 3 times speed. We're not actually speeding in the truck. I just sped the video clips up. These are actually minute-long clips that are greatly shortened at 3 times speed. Also really glad that this road gets enough traffic that it was clear, because the dash cam really doesn't catch grade, but that road gets pretty steep in spots. So here we are making the last turn, and these are all new houses up here. This is a brand new road. We're going to get pulled in here, and then we're actually going to switch to the GoPro, which finally got charged on the way up because I have a portable charger now. And the house we're going to is on the right. I actually have to have them move some of their pickup trucks, and then I had to have my pilot car guy move and all those other pickup trucks to move so I can get turned around and backed in. Again, he wasn't even walking that fast, so. Of course, now that we're just about backed in, we're going to drop the camera onto the ground. I thankfully just clip it with the front tire and didn't actually run it over. This part of the video is sped up 3 times again because it was just cold enough that my hydraulics on the trailer just aren't that fast, and it took a little while. So speed up the video a little bit so we can get to the unloading part. I also tried to remove most of the wind noise. I'm not sure how well that's going to turn out. So, because right now, basically the camera picked up almost only wind here. It even sitting on the cab, the top of the cab between the stacks, you'd hardly hear the stacks and the engine running at all. Now that we're back to normal speed, what I'm going to do is pull the truck forward and then slide those tandem axles on the trailer towards the center of the trailer, and that actually sets the back end of the trailer on a set of steel wheels real close to the ground, so the trusses aren't falling quite as far as if those tandem axles didn't slide at all. Of course, I'm on a little bit of ice, so threw the diff locks in, rolled forward, then rolled forward a little more. That's just how you kind of got to do things when it's this time of year. We spin out? Nope. So we'll get those slid, and as you can see, that trailer's tipping at more of an angle, and that's because those tandems are slid up quite a bit and setting the back end of that trailer on the ground. So it makes unloading pretty slick, and unless those rollers are froze or really ice covered, most of the time it's pretty easy to predict what the trusses are going to do. Although sometimes, depending on the weight, they'll kind of throw you off a little bit. You can see me reaching up and unlocking that first set of rollers, double checking to make sure the camera's still on the cab, and then there's 2 more sets of rollers that unlock on the trailer. You're going to see me walking back to the cab, and I have the trailer completely unlocked, and just because of the angle the truck's at, the weight of the trusses, how they're sitting on the trailer, sometimes they'll come off, and sometimes you got to give them a little bit of a bump, which is what I'm going to have to do here. And that's kind of hit or miss. It really kind of depends on how level the ground is you're parked on, truss length, weight, width. I've had lightweight stacks just shoot off, and I thought they weren't going to move at all. And I've had big stacks like this. Had to give it a little bit of a brake check, and then they started rolling off nice and smooth. All that's left now is to wait for them to come to a stop, and then I'll just pull out from underneath them. That's unloading, kind of the trickiest part of the job, just because, again, depending on how level the trailer is, how big the load is, you can't really teach people how the load's going to come off, because I've thought for sure stuff was going to stay on the trailer, and it just almost immediately starts rolling. And even when you throw the locks to try to stop it, they just keep going. So that's kind of one of those things that no matter how long you've been doing it, sometimes that'll still trip you up a little bit. So thankfully, since it's dry out here, I can get my axle slid all the way back to the back of the trailer. I'm going to hop out of the truck, walk to the back, lock the tandem locks, then we'll drop the trailer down and unlock it to shrink it up. I unlocked my stretch locks as I was walking back to the front of the trailer to lower it back down. So now, just jump in the truck, fire it back up, pull on the Johnson bar to apply the trailer brakes, throw in reverse, and we'll shrink up from 58 feet back down to 42 feet. And I'll eventually get it. I don't like banging it real hard. The trailer's got enough miles and mistreatment that I try to keep my equipment nice, and I don't like breaking things. All I'm going to do now is just back out of the middle of the road because it's getting about lunchtime, so not sure if those guys at the other job site want to get out of there and go to town for lunch. But that's pretty much it. I'm going to get backed up, of course, lock the trailer back together. Then all I have to do is take some photos of the part of the load I dropped in the hangars, give those guys the paperwork, and of course take the GoPro off the top of the cab. But that's pretty much a standard truss delivery, even if the trusses themselves were a fair bit longer than usual. Like I said, the beginning, these were 63 feet long. With tails, they're actually 67 feet long. And the average house, usually around 38, 42 feet for a truss span. And I got to lock all my rollers, of course. So that's how my Monday went. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, click subscribe if you want to see more content like this and other things I get into. And of course, like if you enjoyed the video. And we will catch you in the next one.